Howdy, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we are with Jen Cluff, our 2024 Salesperson of the Year. And Jen, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
And I was looking at our last podcast, and I said at the end of it, I was like, hey, we'll check in with you in a year. And it's kind of like, here we are.
Yeah.
So how have things been? How are you?
I am well. Things have been crazy busy and good kinds of stress. You'd rather be busy than bored. So
is the market treating you well? I mean, busy is a good thing if you're an entrepreneur and you need to be productive in order to keep things going. So
yeah.
How is it treating you right now?
It's treating me really well right now. There are some difficult things in the market for sure and obstacles that we need to navigate around. But overall, it's going really well.
What are the difficult things?
Mostly listings, right? We're very much a buyer's market right now. And I've had a lot of sellers, over 100, in fact, in the last 15 months, that I have turned away and I've not been able to list because they don't have enough equity. They bought during COVID or they're in a new construction area, that kind of thing. And that's just hard to help people navigate the reality.
And I know most of the people who are listening probably are real estate agents and understand, but
Sure.
Don't have equity means they bought it for 300 and now they're going to sell it for 220.
Yeah.
I mean 320.
No,
and
220 might be right.
God, I hope not. But so explain that a little bit more as like they don't have the equity. Why is it a bad decision at times for someone not to sell?
I mean, I've literally had some sellers who've paid $20,000 to $30,000 at the closing table to sell their house because that was the priority for them. But typically speaking, you don't want to have to pay to sell your house. And so when someone approaches me and they've bought during COVID or since COVID, they've not been in the home that long to build up equity. Most of their payments have been going to interest. If they had a VA loan, they've had the funding fee tacked on top of that. And then you take into account commissions, closing costs, all that kind of stuff. And they're just not in a good place to sell.
So when you say pay to close, you mean literally I'm taking money out of my pocket in order to do this.
Yeah.
There is no profit coming out of this transaction. But
Yeah.
there's obviously something that has required them to switch locations.
Right. Yeah. So
Okay.
a lot of the people coming to me are relocation. They're military or they're relocating for work or just because they want to. And so I'm trying to tell them, like, if you don't have to sell right now, don't. But sometimes you just have to.
So when we talked last time, we learned that you are a military wife and you had a prior career and with psychology, and then you started to do this business. Mm-hmm. You thought it provided you the flexibility to do it. You started part-time. Do you still appreciate getting into this business and all the reasons that you got in there and all that stuff?
Absolutely. I love this business so much. I'm grateful for it every day. Flexibility is different than what I thought it would be coming into it, right? I was even saying recently to one of the agents on my team, flexibility doesn't happen every day. It happens in the weeks and the months. So there might be times where I am missing dinner with my family because there's some fire going on or a leak or whatever, right? But I'm able to plan around going on field trips. I'm able to plan around being at every sports game. I'm able to whatever, no matter what day or what time. And so it's that kind of flexibility. I'm able to take my family and leave for 2 weeks and go visit our family back in Canada or whatever. And that kind of flexibility is priceless. And I'm building generational wealth for my children where, they're learning to work hard now by working with me. But they also will never have need of anything in their life.
And you're building generational wealth for them and for the families you help?
Absolutely. And for my employees, right?
Yeah.
So if someone hires me, they're literally supporting at least 5 families directly right away, which is absolutely outstanding to me. I love that.
How does it make you feel that now, because you're at what, 4 years? 5 years?
Just hit 4 years.
Just 4 years. Mm-hmm. You are a mid-career real estate agent, given that most people don't make it this far.
Sure.
Like, how does it feel knowing like you're kind of been in this business? Like you're a regular established person. Like, does it feel like that? I mean, it's been 4 years.
I know. 4 years. When I say it, like 4 years sounds really short.
It does.
When I think about the number of transactions, like, hey, I've helped almost 300 families. That just sounds a little exhausting.
And knowing that 4 years is rare. Like most people get out after 1 or 2. So you've already outlived most people who get into the business. What would you say to the person who's starting?
I think, honestly, they need to be able to own a business. And I think, we talked about that a little bit last time about how sometimes realtors get in the habit of treating it like a hobby or a side gig instead of a business. And if you're not actually someone who's going to thrive being an entrepreneur and a business owner, this might not be the best fit for you. And that's okay, right? It's okay to pivot in life. And I think having that clarity is really, really important. And if you are someone who can do that, then like, hold on, keep working, keep hustling. You know, the grind that I had to do a year and a half ago is very different than the grind I do now. I still grind and I still hustle in just really different ways.
Do you think that, I mean, the grind for you would have been in 2021, right? 2022 is around when you started.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not good with math, but we're going to go with 22.
2022, I got
Yeah.
licensed.
Okay. There we go. 26 minus 4 makes sense. It was a different market then.
Yeah.
What do you say to the person who's coming to you now and saying, hey, I'm breaking into real estate? I mean, then I think folks would say it was a little bit easier, right?
Yeah.
The market was absolutely there for sellers.
Yeah.
Now, I think even before we logged in right now, we were saying like it is, well, you just said there's not a lot of listings. Mm-hmm. What do you tell the person who's just getting in right now?
I mean, I think it's a great time to get in. When I got in, actually, we were just coming off of the COVID bubble. So I remember my first listing ever freaking out and going to my mentor, and she was like, it'll sell. And I was like, what else can I do? And she's like, it'll sell. It's okay. And it wasn't selling. It was sitting and sitting and sitting, which is hilarious now because now I look and it was like 18 days on market and we got under contract. And I'm like, I would love to freak out at 18 days.
At 18 days is like, oh my God, this is so quick.
Yeah, that would be amazing, right? But there's opportunity in every market. You just have to pivot and shift in regards to what the opportunity is and what you're looking for.
So in 2025, when we spoke to you, 68 deals, right? You had closed 68 deals, which is a very high level of production. What are you doing now?
Last year, I personally did 67
Okay.
in 2025. And then I have a small team and we did 101
Okay.
total for 2025. This year so far, we've closed and pended 53 for the year.
Okay. So how would you explain to the folks who are, you know, maybe they're in their year 3, going into year 4, or they're just starting? Did you scale anything? Did you bring on more agents? Did you bring on more technology? Or did you just kind of keep where you're at? Like what happens between year 3 and 4 to keep everything sustainable?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully we'll double this year, right? If we're at 53 closed and pended already. Honestly, I'm always scaling. I'm always changing.
What does scaling look like?
I mean, it's systems, it's people, and it's leverage. So for me, I have a lot of systems, like more systems. I've got a master SOP list. Everything is hyperlinked to the appropriate SOP. There's going to be a written SOP. There's going to be a Loom video. There's going to be like all this stuff. Kind of the amount of systems would make people be like, oh, that's gross. But it works for us, right?
Yeah.
And then leverage as well. I've surrounded myself with really great people who I know I can trust, who I know are competent in their job. Competence is important. And obviously, I've made some hires along the way that didn't end up being a good fit. My first thought, if that happens, is maybe they're just in the wrong seat on the bus. Maybe this is the right bus for them, but maybe they're in the wrong seat. And what seat would be an appropriate seat for them? And just making sure that I'm properly compensating people. You know, if someone's really, really great, I don't want to lose them. I don't want them to go away. So we're always looking at the people, the systems, everything like that, for sure.
I think people get attached to systems and then they say, no. I saw this either somewhere or did that, where their systems usually like, you know what? This isn't working. Like this was a waste of time. Like, how did you come to the point where you're like, you know what? I've recognized that maybe the system wasn't happy. I remember last time we talked about checklists and you're like, I got a checklist for everything. It sounds like you still have checklists, but perhaps
we just live in SOPs now.
We've elevated it to.
We've just been expanding, yes.
But is there things that you know what, that was not a good return on investment? That was a waste of time.
Yeah.
Like what would people want to know? It's like, you know what, this was not worth it.
I think you have to give it some time every time. First of all, you don't want to give up in a week or two. Of
course.
And then what works for them isn't going to necessarily be what works for me. Like I recently did a paid Facebook ad and I was really intentional about the information we used on that. It was my first time doing any kind of like marketing that I'm
because you didn't believe in the marketing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But now I'm looking to scale even more. And so I was like, hey, let's try something. I did a paid Facebook ad. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Never
what was
do that
terrible
again.
about it though?
I mean, I just threw away like $1,100 and I got nothing out of it.
Oh, okay. So the return on your investment.
Not there.
I thought you were like, I didn't like the graphic or you didn't like what you did.
No. No, it just wasn't a good return on investment for me. So now I've tried it. I know. I'm like, okay, that's good. We just won't ever do that again.
Okay.
Or if we do, we need to figure something else out where it
change the way we executed on that.
Yeah.
Is there other stuff though that you're like, you know what, we shouldn't? I mean, that's good though. You tried something different.
Yeah.
So let's just say for sure we want to evolve and continue to try new things.
Sure.
But there are other things that you were doing for years 1, 2, and 3 that in year 4, you're like, nope, not doing that anymore. It's a waste of time.
I don't think that I've thought they're a waste of time. Like one thing that could be an example is I used to do pop buys for my clients where I'd literally drop something off at their house. I don't do that anymore simply because of scale. Like that's just not doable with the number of clients that we now have. So I did client events, I think
you used to do 4 a year.
Now I'm up to 6 a year.
Okay. So you did that. So this you increased, but that you reduced.
Yeah. So I reduced the pop buys. I don't do that anymore. I can't.
You maximize your time, right? Like one event, you can hit so many more people than the pop buys.
Correct. Pop buys would take about 5 days at this point. And that's just like, who has 5 days to just drive around San Antonio?
That does not sound fun, especially with traffic.
No. And the heat here, nothing. So now they come to me all the time.
When we first talked to you, it was, part of your brand was networking, getting to know people. It really wasn't on social, that kind of thing. Would you say that is still your way of approaching the business, or has any of that changed? You tried, obviously, a Facebook ad, but like, is there other stuff you're like, you know what, I do need more of a social media presence and all that stuff?
No, not for me.
Really? It has? Okay.
That hasn't. I mean, I have. Like, if you look up my pages, I have a social media presence. They're still not, quote unquote, good. Like, it's not great stuff. You know what I mean? It's not going to make someone want to see my Instagram and every time there's a new post be like, oh my goodness, I want to watch this. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not, so there's still, I haven't delved in. It's still more like under contract posts, which everyone tells you not to do. I look at my social media as proof of life. Like, I'm like, yep, I'm still here.
I still work here.
Doing business.
Yeah.
We're still selling this many houses. And we use that as an opportunity to share some really special stories. Like, I had an amazing review left by a client just the other day that made my heart just so happy. And so, of course, my team right away, cut out bits of that and kind of shared it on the social media. So social media for us is really kind of proof of life. But the way that social media is so integral to my business is more in the communities, right? The Alamo Ranch moms, the moms around Stone Oak, the Riverstone at West Point neighbors, like all of those kind of groups where people who know me, clients who've used me are interacting. It's the new town square, right? Town square is just online now.
But you're doing it in a way that you're engaging with them because you're like, hey, my kids need this, or I'm doing this for my boys, and it's not thinking about selling your house.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Totally.
So you do engage. It's just like you do it for...
I'm just being a good neighbor.
Got it.
Like, that's it, right? Like, you ask about a pediatrician. I love my pediatrician. I'm going to tell you, like, Helotes Pediatric, they're amazing. Go to them, that kind of thing. And then people see my name and they trust me. And then it's mostly my clients doing the advertising for me, to be honest, because thankfully, my number one thing is always treat my clients the way I want my own family to be treated. And when you do that, the clients love it and they're grateful. And so they see that someone's moving and they jump on and they're like, hey, you need to talk to Jen. And I'm forever grateful for that.
Are you very careful that you don't be the one who posts on Nextdoor? Like, has anyone seen that dog, or there's somebody who drove through? Like, you're very conscientious, though, about what your persona online.
I mean, I would never post like really mean things. But
not mean.
I'm not going to start drama.
Yeah.
I don't post about like religion and politics online because I know that that's automatically going to have people feel some kind of way. And that's not saying that you shouldn't, right? Like, there's some realtors out there who post about politics all the time and they do a ton of deals because all the people who are drawn to that love that, right?
Yeah.
And so that's great. And that's for them. That's just not what I do. I just don't do that because I want to appeal to the masses a little bit more than that.
So we've maintained our philosophy on social media and the way you market. Technology, systems, operations. What did you evolve in the last year that you felt was leverage?
Yeah.
The word of the day or the year, I don't know, AI.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so what have you done to help you become more efficient? You said you've grown more staff, but I'm guessing you've also included more things, technology to scale up.
Yeah, I have. Actually, when we last spoke, I didn't have a CRM.
Yep.
I know you gave me a hard time for not using.
Because Savor Lyra has one available. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I guess technically it's kind of like that. So I use a CRM now, like an actual
Hey,
legit.
look at that.
Yep.
Wait, which one?
It's Brevity.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I use.
That's fine.
It's not Lyra, sorry.
That's all right.
But it's really cool because I also telecom through it. So now that's my work number. So if I'm here and a client is texting me with some emergency, my team can see that and they can get on and they can help that. And the amount of freedom that gives me is absolutely outstanding. And it helps give better service to my clients. They don't have to wait for me to be done recording this podcast before they can get an answer. And that's absolutely amazing.
You get to outsource support, if you will, right? Like everyone is all hands on deck on that.
Yeah.
Other than the CRM, is there other stuff that you've done, or you've just kind of maintained what you were doing?
I've maintained what we are doing for the most part. I mean, I've started playing with some AI stuff, but I literally just started Claude like last week. Like I haven't.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be fun to see
Okay.
what happened. Maybe check in with me in a year.
Checking in with you. You're going to be like,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes.
But you're definitely stepped away from, I think you said like, I had a spreadsheet.
Yeah, we had Google Sheets. That was what we used. So we still have those for some of our tracking and some of our back end things. But we use our CRM for a lot of our stuff.
Did you bring on more staff?
I do have, so now I have an overseas VA. I have an operations manager. I have a client care coordinator who's like a TC, but TC beyond. And then I have a showing partner. And then I have 2 agents on the team.
Okay. And that's total? That's everybody?
That's well, my husband, actually, he's now officially joined us.
Is it a family business?
It's now a family business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he retired?
Yeah. So he got out of the military. Then he got a job contracting back on base. And then the government canceled their contract. And so we are like, you know what? This is so perfect. This is time for him to become our CFO. So he's at home with us. He's not, licensed and out doing showings and all that kind of stuff. But he takes care of my financial consultant meetings, my CPA meetings, our like estate attorney meetings. I don't have to do any of that. So that's great.
How is managing a business with a spouse? I mean, do you bring the work home? Like, isn't that a little bit complicated sometimes? Like,
I mean, I work at home all the time. So,
but now y'all are just home. Like now you have to leave home to leave work.
Yeah, so we really don't have to, right? No, I mean, it's been great. I think he views Texas Haven Home Group as a partnership, and so do I, and we always have. But he also still views it as my baby. So it's been a huge blessing, and I love to say like. It was a surprise to us that he got laid off and that the company lost their contract nationwide. But everything happens for a reason. And so we're really glad.
How is the team building going? I think you're very much engaged on making sure that the people you bring on are successful. You said earlier, anyone who sells with me is supporting 5 separate families. Mm-hmm. How do you build that culture? How are you working to make sure that the team knows my success is everyone's success? We are all doing this together.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I try and hire right? That's really important to me. I'm not jumping at hiring or jumping at allowing an agent to come on the team. It has to be a good fit right away. You have to have work ethic. You have to have the similar values so that the culture is a good fit. And even then, from sometimes it can happen that we realize, hey, this isn't a good fit. So kind of like I mentioned, right? Like, are they in the wrong seat on the bus, or should they not be on this bus altogether? And either way, I consider it a success, because if it's not the right bus for you, let's figure that out and help you get on the right bus sooner than later. And if it's just not the right seat, let's see where your strengths are and let's capitalize on those. So it's always tricky, I think, when you're looking at, it's one thing to be a business owner. It's another to be a business owner and a leader, because you can own your own business and just do your own thing every day. But I literally pay thousands every month in coaching so that I am challenged and other people's ideas can kind of challenge my ideas. And so I love being a part of a team where that kind of naturally happens as well.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You're doing coaching, but what is the coaching for? And I ask because, like the team is kind of the same size with the exception of the husband. The technology is kind of the same. You haven't like, oh, we tried all these new things. So where does the coaching support you as an investment, right? $1,000 is an investment. So
yeah.
How do you find it productive for you?
Well, we're at 53 closed and pended. So 2026 should definitely be a lot higher than 2025 was. 2025 was higher than 24. So 24, I done 68 just myself. 25, we did 101 as a team. And like I said, now we're at 53
chipping
closed
away.
and pended.
Okay.
So we are.
And you're using all the same stuff. So I think everyone
lighting it on fire. Like
but how?
Gasoline on fire.
I didn't let you answer the question. I'm going to ask you about how you light stuff on fire, but I didn't allow you to finish answering the question about the coach. So
no, you're fine. Okay, so I actually have 3 coaches right now. Yeah. So I invest more than 1,000. I invest thousands every month.
Okay.
For 3 coaches. So I have one coach that is absolutely outstanding. I mean, obviously I'm going to think all my coaches are amazing or I wouldn't be getting coaching from them, right? But he's absolutely outstanding. He has worked with some of the biggest and best teams in the nation. And it's such an honor to be partnered with him. And he is really the mirror that I don't want to look in, is how I kind of think of him, right? And so he helps me see the weaknesses, the blind spots, the obstacles, all of that kind of thing. He challenges me on my thinking and ways that I could think about things differently. And it's absolutely amazing. Then we have a financial coach. She helps a lot with investments, tax strategy, all of that kind of stuff. So that's outstanding. She's helped bring our tax bill down significantly and help make some great connections. Like, here's a great CPA, here's a good hard money lender, here's, a good cost segregation guy, like all of that kind of stuff, which is great. And then I have another real estate coach. It was a year program. So that one's ending in June. It's my third time getting coaching from her in one aspect or another. And she really focuses on coaching moms in real estate. And one of the best things with that is that it's putting me in rooms with people that do more than me, right? I don't want to just be the big fish in the pond. And so it's putting me in rooms where I'm the little fish in the pond and I can just soak in all of the information. And compared to her and her business, I'm a little minnow. And so it's amazing to just get to learn and to glean and to think through ideas. And sometimes you might think through an idea for 6 months and put all of this work and all of this effort into it and then realize this isn't a good idea for our business and we need to scrap it. And those 6 months are gone. But how much better is that than having spent the money and all of this stuff and trying to do it and have it fail? So there might not have been any like crazy changes that are easy to say on the outside. But as I mentioned, we're always fine-tuning our systems. We're always bettering our service. Our clients are seeing that and they're responding in kind and our numbers are going up. So
it sounds like your coaches are very unique, right? Like it's you say coaching, I think it's like, all right, let's work through your marketing strategy. Let's work through what's your sphere of influence? Are you doing calling to? That's not what these guys are doing. This is a completely different. They're telling me what I don't want to hear. These people are helping me financially because maybe I'm not that. Well, now your husband's there, so maybe he's supporting that. But
yeah, he took over a meeting with her. I don't have to.
You're like, I'm good like that. But I think that was a different answer for coaching than I was expecting.
I think a lot of people in real estate have consultants. And they call them a coach.
And what's the difference in your mind?
To me, a consultant is someone who is like, I have the answers and I'm going to tell you what you should do.
Because this is what I do.
Because this is what I do.
Okay.
Or I once did. Or I'm trying to tell you that I did and I maybe wasn't even that successful. So I decided to pivot to coaching, right? Whereas I think a coach is someone who is that. They are the mirror. They help you see the blind spots. And they know that you're the expert on your own business. And they're helping partner with you to help you get the full view of everything. So I do think there's a difference between coaching and consulting. And I think a lot of the times when I hear about real estate coaches, they're actually more consultants just calling themselves a coach.
You're telling that story and I start thinking about Instagram and the reels. And there was one recently about a coach who was talking to her player. It was like, you need to get out of your head. It's, and it wasn't, here's the play I think you should play, or here's the way you should shoot. It's, you need to get out of your head. You can do this. You just need to get out there, be the best person for your team. And that sounds a little bit different. Now, here's my question though.
Yeah.
You said you're a minnow.
Yes.
But I think most people would say 3 coaches. Like, what do you tell the person who's like, I just like one, and who can't do it? Like, where would you tell them to go? You say just get one. Get one.
Get a coach. I mean, make sure that they're the right coach for you, right? I did not just sign up for any coach, and there's there's a million systems. They say
I'm sure you can get on LinkedIn. You can, find tons of them.
You go to Instagram, TikTok. They say if you can't make money in real estate, that you can just pivot and sell something to realtors instead, and then you'll make tons of money, right? So. That's a saying.
I know.
So they're a dime a dozen, I think. But you have to, I interviewed a number of coaches before I was like, okay, yes, this one. This is who I think I could partner with. And it really is a partnership. And we both view it as that. And that's amazing.
Do you think you can get that same result from something else, though?
Sure.
Do you think it's just like maybe it's being in a mastermind group and y'all are all holding each other accountable? Or maybe you just create a smaller group of like-minded individuals, whether it's moms who homeschool, prior veterans who just left the military and they're doing their own thing. Like there's other ways to get that same kind of motivation.
Sure. There's definitely ways, and not necessarily even motivation, but like guidance to look within, guidance to talk things through before you implement them. Like for me, I tend to hustle. I tend to grind. I tend to think fast and make decisions fast. And coaching has helped me like slow down a little bit and like evaluate stuff before I just randomly implement it and before whatever, right? Whereas someone else might analyze too much and they need a coach to kind of help kick them and get stuff implemented and stuff like that. And you can find that wherever. You can find it in groups and friends and neighbors and all kinds of stuff.
Do you think realtors are too independent though?
I I don't feel like I can say like a sweeping generalized statement.
Okay,
like
I wanted you to, but that's okay. No, it's fine. I'm thinking as independent contractors, right? Like they generally don't work in like, hey, here's your team. I mean, aside from having teams, which some people do, but a large number of realtors work on their own. Like they do everything for themselves. So maybe we just need to get everybody comfortable with, hey, they may be the competition because we're all in competition for the same listing, but we can all learn off of each other.
We totally can. I think it partially depends on if you're on a team or you're a solo agent. It partially depends on what brokerage you're at, and not even just like cloud versus brick and mortar, because I know some of the cloud, brokerages have like groups that get together and all of that kind of stuff. But it has to be a good fit, especially if they're in your market. I think that there is naturally a little bit of a barrier when someone's in your market to sharing everything with each other and here's whatever. But I do have, like, I've got realtors that we share stuff. We're both in San Antonio. I'm with this brokerage, they're with that brokerage. And they'll call me and be like, hey, do you have a pool inspector? Hey, do you this? We can kind of help each other out. And when that happens, collaboration, that's what happens at the top. Competition happens at the bottom. And so I absolutely love when I love that. Yeah. I love when I find people that we can collaborate together and we have a mutual respect for each other.
So I'm going to get back to you're lighting things on fire, right? Because I was like, nothing's really changed. What are you doing? And you're like, actually, my numbers have changed.
My numbers have changed.
How did you do it? Like, how do you think?
Good question. So I think leaning into the things that work, scrapping the things that don't, right? And you were saying before, like, what are you scrapping? What are you, whatever? I think sometimes it's just little things, right? One thing that's super important to me is we keep a spreadsheet of any question that a client asks. If a client at any point during the transaction asks us a question, to me, that's a failure. It's a little failure, but it's a failure because that was an opportunity to proactively teach and support them, and we didn't do it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have this question. And sometimes it's like, we've given you that information 3 times and you're asking that question, but maybe we didn't give it to them in the way
maybe it's the way,
right. So we keep a spreadsheet of every time that a client asks a question, and then we go back and we kind of do a postmortem after every transaction of looking at like, what went well, what could have gone better, what SOPs do we need to update based on the questions and the experience that they had. And I think that's really helpful. So our SOPs are really a living document that are kind of always changing. So I'd say that's kind of the biggest thing, right? Because when I have a business that is fueled by customer experience, always evaluating my customer experience and truly trying to make it the best that I can is going to be the gasoline, right? So now we're doing 6 client events as opposed to the 4 client events. We're doing other little things like we egged their yards for Easter this year, and that was an ordeal. We didn't even have that many sign up. We had like 65 clients sign up.
When you say egg, that means like, something completely different to me. Like you threw eggs at their house and toilet paper in the tree. That's not what you mean.
No. Okay. Like little plastic eggs with toys and stickers and stuff in them. And we had them sign up because I didn't want to just do it blanket if they were going to be out of town or if they are anti-Easter or just like whatever.
Understood.
Right? So we had them sign up, but even then it was like 7 different routes and took us 3 days of doing it. And it was a huge ordeal, but they loved it. And I love that they loved it. Right. And so like one, it makes good sense business wise because it's going to remind them that I'm here. Some of them are then posting on social media and tagging me. I mean, like, look what our realtor did and that kind of thing. 2, it was another way for me to give back to the agents on my team because I covered like, hey, your clients are going to get eggs. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to do it. Like we're taking care of this for you. But really for me, I just love that they were so happy and that they loved it. And like some of them sent me videos privately of their kids looking for it and stuff like that. And that was just so special. I loved it.
I was going to ask you about, so it's efficiencies, right? Like, so you found efficiencies in your systems and your operating procedures in order to be able to execute it. Now, here's my question though. You said, did they say, hey, look at what our realtor did? Or did they say, look at what Jen did?
I mean, both sometimes. And I don't care what they said. Like,
no, I know, but I think for me, I was like, how do they, it sounds like they would be super excited. They're just going to call you by your first name, right? As opposed to.
Some of them did, right? And some of them, like I said, some of them just sent me videos or pictures privately, which is okay. Like I wasn't doing it for the tags. Okay. And so if you get them, that's extra exciting because it's like, oh my goodness, that's free advertising and look at that. But I did it because my heart loves them and I'm happy to do it. And that gives them the kind of loyalty. Like, it's like, oh yeah, Jen's still here. Jen still cares about us. It's been 3 years, but Jen is still here. She is coming out with her kids and hiding eggs all around our house and like whatever, right? And it's that kind of customer service that there's a book I've been meaning to read. I think it's called Unfathomable Hospitality or something like that.
Okay.
But it's that kind of thing, right? Like the Disney kind of level of service that's where my heart is. And that is what has built my business. And so lighting it on fire is just doing that even more and doing that even better and taking it to the next level. And then our clients are responding in kind.
I know the hospitality book you're talking about. I can't remember the full title of it all, but it's a great book. Yes.
Yeah, I want to read it.
So one of the things though we talked about last time, and you said is the personal touch is important to you because you remember going through the experience, or you remember a realtor coming out and doing the notary coming to your house and doing that because you had kiddos and you couldn't leave, and it was that personal touch.
Yeah.
But now you have twice as many transactions. Are you still able to execute at that same level of personal touch?
Yes, but it looks different now, right?
Okay.
Like I think about that realtor, right, that I gave the example of in California, the notary coming to us and that kind of thing. And he's also the one who picked up all the dog poop in the yard the day after closing because the seller had left it, right? Now I wouldn't be the one in the yard picking up the dog poop, but I'd be leveraging and making sure that that dog poop was picked up, right?
Got it.
So obviously that doesn't have the exact same impact. Like I'm aware of that, right? Like stepping into my house and seeing my realtor in my backyard literally shoveling the poop was like ingrained in my memory.
This person is committed to this or is going to go above and beyond.
Totally, right? And so that's ingrained in my memory. And if it was just some random stranger he had hired to do it, I still would have been very grateful and I still would have felt like he went above and beyond. It wouldn't be ingrained in my memory quite the same way. So I do understand that you lose a little bit of that, but that just kind of naturally comes with scaling. But you can absolutely still make sure that they are cared for, right? So that's where like my client care coordinator, I don't have a TC. I have a client care coordinator. They meet her as soon as they sign with me. She sends them a video introducing herself, letting them know who she is, what she does. We refer to her as their real estate concierge, like anything you need. If you need a storage unit and you're relocating and your house isn't ready and you need to put stuff in storage, we'll do that research for you. And we'll say, hey, these units are the ones nearest you. Here's the pricing for this. If you book it online, it's cheaper. Like we'll do all of that, right? And it's that kind of level of service that you can still give even when you have leverage.
Leverage. So it's if I'm hearing correctly, you still provide the same level of concierge personalized service, but maybe it's not just you doing it. Instead, you've been able to leverage other people, other systems, other vendors in order to execute it.
Yeah. And we're all one team and they see that and they know that. So
how do you think you give the client the exact same experience, which is like, man, they went above and beyond? You think it's the same?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Thankfully, I do. I mean, like I said, I think the numbers speak for themselves in showing
I mean,
that,
fair
right?
enough. Yeah.
And then like, for example, the review that we got on Zillow or whatever, just a couple of days ago, like this client, I've never met them. They're overseas. They're moving to San Antonio. They've already closed on the house. They won't get here for another couple of weeks. And, you know, they said, I don't actually even know how they found me, to be honest. I know they found me somehow on social media, but they said like, we heard from everyone that Jen Cluff was the one to hire. And we're so glad that we hired her.
Quite the compliment. Yeah.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. And so that's why I say like, I really just focus on the customer service. I know I told you before, I'm not in sales. I'm in customer service. And then the sales take care of themselves. And that is what's continuing to happening. So I'm just fine tuning my customer service, upping my game in customer service and making sure that everyone is well taken care of. And then they take care of me in return.
So the next question was going to be identity and brand. Like, did it evolve? But I think you already answered that for it. Yeah. Like you've maintained true to where you started and it's working.
100%. Yeah.
How do you think you find that? How do you know what I mean? Like it's obviously working. The numbers are showing it's working. But what about the person who hasn't figured it out for themselves? How do you think that person would do it? Your agents that come on board, one day you want them to be successful in their own right, maybe go do their own thing. How do you help them to find that for them?
I think you have to look at each individual person, right? Like what works for me is not going to be what works for somebody else. And it has to be really genuine and authentic to you. That's why I love specializing in relocation because I've moved across cities and states and countries and like I know it and I understand it. And so I can help in a natural way and think of things that other people maybe just wouldn't think of. Because I'm like, no, I understand the stress.
Because you've been through it.
I've been through it, right? So not saying you can't have a niche that you haven't done, but you need to have an intimate understanding of who your client is, what their needs are, and how you can solve those needs. And if you get that and it's something that's genuine and authentic to you, you're going to shine. People are going to see that. They're going to feel that, and it's going to work.
What does 3 years look like for you?
Oh, gosh, that's a golden question. I have no idea. I think.
What does next year look like then?
I think just more of the same, right?
Yeah.
Like I absolutely love what I do. I love Texas Haven Home Group. I love the people I have supporting me and the agents that I have.
And Texas Haven Home Group is your group?
That's my team.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I just want to continue to better myself, better my agents, better our team, and really be able to help support people. I have toyed with the idea of helping do some kind of consulting or coaching. And yes, I differentiate the two eventually, because I also would love to help better the industry as a whole and better other agents and things like that. So that's another like, what does that look like? What would that be? But I would hope to involve some of that in the next few years. And then more stuff like this, honestly. I'm obviously very passionate about what I do, right?
Yeah.
So I love getting to talk about it. I was at a conference in August and I got to be up on stage and kind of talk to people about working with a niche and things like that. I absolutely loved that. So hopefully I'll have more opportunities for teaching and holding trainings and different things like that too.
So last couple of questions for you. I want us to kind of, what do you think about the market? Like there's so many things going on. There's so much consolidation going on. This person's buying this person. We think these rules should apply and these rules should apply. What do you, boots on the ground, person producing, how do you pay attention to what's noise and what is important to your industry?
I'm kind of different than a lot of people. I think a lot of it is noise, to be honest. I think a lot of it is noise.
I don't know if you're that different. I think a lot of people do. Yeah, I'm just
seeing so many posts lately and so many whatever. And I'm like, who cares? This doesn't really matter. Like what matters at the end of the day is the work that I do, and the support that I have for my brokerage is really important. I'm very, very grateful for where I currently am and the support that they give me. And it is a perfect fit for me. It might not be a perfect fit for other people, and that's okay. So I think it comes down to just making sure that the values align and that there is value there for you, and that you get the support that you need. But all of the other stuff kind of doesn't really matter.
Do you keep an eye on the industry news and read what's going on across the country? You focus here. We just started a new member benefit, right? Access to the Business Journal.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you stay informed to make sure you're still in competition with everyone? So my guess is you're trying to keep an eye on what the competition's doing in order to stay successful. How do you do that?
I don't really keep an eye on my competition. I just kind of have a head down and I'm working, and that's working out okay. I do stay, I subscribe to Recon through the Texas Real Estate Research out of Austin.
A&M or okay.
Yeah, it's called Recon. I don't know.
Got
Look
it.
up.
I'll do it. Okay.
They email me. I love that because it gives me a heads up. Like, hey, this data center is going to be built in San Antonio. They just brokered a deal for this, that kind of thing. And then obviously I keep an eye on nationwide markets, but it's so different. I mean, we were talking earlier about how like the market in North Central San Antonio right now is vastly different than the market on the far east side or the far west side. And so it's really, really hyper local. In general, I'm seeing that what we've been going through the last like 2.5, 3 years here in San Antonio is what some other markets around the nation are just starting to experience. So that's kind of cool because when I talk to friends in those markets, I'm able to say like, it's okay. And like, here's what worked for us in the shift and like, that kind of thing. I think this year in San Antonio is kind of the start of a different shift for us. I think it'll be a slow, painful shift, potentially barring some other things that could happen. But I think we've kind of been through the ringer the last few years. And I think we're all going to start to get like a little bit more of a breath of, okay, it's okay. We're okay. So I'm excited for that.
How long has your husband been a part of the team?
2 months now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does he say? Like he's the newest person who comes in and just is like, what on earth is this? Like, or is he like, this is kind of cool. Like, how does it?
No, he loves it. He's a very analytical person.
Okay.
So it was also important to me that if he came on, he was in the right seat on the bus or he wasn't going to be allowed to be on the bus.
he wasn't in, even he wasn't going to be guaranteed a spot on the bus.
No,
okay.
No, he was not. No nepotism here. Yeah. And so it's perfect to have him be the CFO because he can look at all the market data and the trends and all that stuff. He looks at the profit and loss statements. I don't. Yes, you should have a profit and loss if you own your own business, that kind of thing. So it's a perfect fit for us.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What last advice would you give to anyone who is just starting out and wants to be Salesperson of the Year in 2027?
I mean, get involved, both with, Lyra and San Antonio Board of Realtors. Get involved in your community. Get to know your neighbors. Go to the town square. Whatever that town square is where you are, go to the town square.
Whether online or in person.
Online or in person, absolutely. And make sure that people know who you are and always come from a place of value. If you come from a place of value and you follow your values and you're genuine and authentic, it's going to pay off. And You have to decide. Maybe you don't want to be an agent who does 10 closings a month. Maybe that's not the kind of life you want to go for. And if not, that's okay. If you want one closing a month, that's okay. Figure out what is the right fit for you and then lean all in.
Isn't that the great part about the industry, though?
Totally.
Like you can, as much as you want to produce is what success can look for you, right?
Totally. Everyone defines success as something else, and that's okay.
Do you feel successful?
I do.
Excellent. Well, we're very happy and proud of you.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll talk to you in a year, maybe 2 from now, and see where we're at. You're gonna be our origin story for a while now. So, but I appreciate you coming in, sharing with us your knowledge and where you've gone through over the last year. And thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for watching.